Hello and welcome to the Ram Show. It is Sunday, February 25th, 2018. The number of times I almost messed that up right there, Zach. I don't.
Doesn't surprise me.
I think I almost said Saturday. I didn't know what the date was. I almost said 2017 instead of 2018, even though, we're already into February of this year. So, anyway, how are things been going?
Okay.
Okay. So, you know what? Let me do one thing real quick here to actually make that make sense. Oh my goodness. That was really, really delayed. Anyway, okay. So, we are trying something new this week. We are going to try to keep the show down to about an hour. By the way, I'm going to do that real quick there. Okay. So, so we're going to try to keep the show down to about an hour. How well will that work? I don't know. But bear with us.
We should be fine.
I think we should be fine, too. So I have built in some time because we always love to banter. Plus, I've got some things to share. So this is actually, built in to the show. So I budgeted for this right here. So without further ado, let me get started. So anyway,
what has happened?
Hold on. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense to me. Look at the rundown real quick, Zach. Tell me what... Okay, so if we start at 5:30, right? And this segment is supposed to last for that amount of time, that should not give us that time right there, should it?
You are correct.
What is going on?
I don't think it's really going to matter anyway because who sticks to the timers anyway?
I know what's going on. Okay, so that should equal that plus that, therefore giving us that. Oh, wow. So I actually underfilled the show by about 20 minutes, if you look at the end time, assuming all this is correct. Hang on.
Well, we'll be fine, I'm sure.
Oh, wait. Hang on. I may have overfilled the show. No.
I think you're trying to overplan a little bit.
Well, yeah. Anyway, okay, fine. Well. Oh, okay, interesting. Well, no, so this is supposed to help. It was supposed to help keep me on track, but I mean, that's only going to work, of course, if everything is correct in here. But anyway. Oh, yeah, see, those are all off. So this should really go here. And then this should go down to here. Okay, so it looks like we are correct. Hang on. Oh, I'm doing new things with, Google Sheets this week. So I'm learning as I'm going. Okay.
Don't ask me a thing about Google Sheets. I don't know.
Like how I got checkboxes in here somehow randomly. But anyway.
I thought those were meant to be there.
They're like a special font. Anyway, okay. So now that I got that fixed and I've already killed a bunch of time, let me actually get into what I wanted to get into for this week. So anyway, so we live here in the Midwest, right? And we get this wonderful thing. It's white. It's cold. What is it, Zach?
Snow?
Exactly. So, for those of you who don't know, I work at a TV station. I am a master control operator, and it is my job to make sure that we are on the air. And if we're not, then I do what I can do.
Sounds like an important job.
Yeah, so if we're not, I do what I can do. And there's a checklist of things that I can, check and things like that. It's like, nope, okay, not this, not this, not this. And then it's it's called the engineers. So this week we've gotten...
Well, not my problem anymore.
basically, so this week we've gotten some snow, right?
Yes.
And we have network programming that comes down through satellites. And as you would imagine, the satellites are pretty important.
Is that when the snow messes with the satellites, you have problems?
Yeah, so the snow has built up on our satellite dishes, and it basically blocks the signal. So this first happened a couple days ago. I think it was like Thursday. And so all through prime time, everything came down fine. So it must have been from the time that whenever the storm had started. So partially through prime time, and then it must have finished building up enough to the point during the 35-minute newscast, so that when we went back to network programming after the newscast, our satellite was out, basically. Like, it wasn't receiving any signal. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, so I ran the break, or no, the last break rolls automatically after the newscast. On one of our stations, we have to manually switch it because the automatic switching is broken. So it's kind of a little bit of a pain. But anyway, so newscast gets over, I switch that source, and then I go off to go do what I'm supposed to. Like, I think I had some programs to time out or whatever. So anyway, so I go back to that, right? And the local break's running, and the local break's only like a couple minutes long, right? And
yes. In
the world of a master control operator, silence is a bad thing. So anyway, I've got my back turned, I think, because I'm working on timing out programs. I'm like, everything should work out by itself, as it normally does. Anyway, so the end of the break hits, right? And we switch over to network programming on our main station. Nothing. It's just black. And I'm like...
that's so good.
And I'm like, well, that's not right. So my first thought was that maybe there was sometimes we have communication errors between they're called router comm errors, but basically they're how the stuff is routed, and sometimes that can have a tendency to kick our source off. And basically the fix for that is really simple. We just basically switch to something else and then switch back to that source, and it fixes it. So I try that first, and I'm like, okay. Well, then I thought, you know what? Maybe traffic is responsible for scheduling our commercials. I was like, maybe traffic accidentally underfilled my break or something like that, which in that case is like, okay, just wait a couple seconds, right? So I wait a few seconds, and I'm like, nope, nothing's happening. And I look over at my CBS satellite feed, and I'm like, it's completely black. What's going on? So I immediately get on the phone with the engineers, and I'm like, yeah, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. By the way, we're in black. So it turns out the fix is really simple. We have a roof rake thing, and they basically just clean off the snow from the dish, but it's kind of annoying. So anyway, today, I'm sitting there writing an email, actually, and I was like, why did it get so quiet in here? And I look around, and again, my network, satellite feed is starting to break up, and then we go to black again. And I'm like, yay!
Oh.
So, and then the week previous, or a couple weeks ago, the power went out. I think I talked about that on the show. Yeah,
possibly? Not sure.
Yeah, the power went out. That was fun. No, I don't think I talked about that, actually. But anyway, so, long story short with that, yeah, so the power went out for about 30 seconds because we have a backup generator at the TV station. But anyway, all within 30 seconds, I was just like, what just happened? Oh, the power went out. Oh, the power went out. At first it was oh, power went out. And then it was oh.
And then it kind of kicked in,
yeah,
oh, that actually happened.
Yeah, and then it kicked in. I was like, oh, the power went out. And then it was, well, what do I do now? I totally forgot we have a backup generator. And so I thought it was going to be when you're normally at home and the power goes out, it's just well, just sit here, twiddle my thumbs.
You just kind of sit around for a little
yeah,
while.
Just sit there, twiddle your thumbs, wait for the power to come back on. So yeah, after about 30 seconds, everything came back up, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know, a weird, you know, just power surge kind of thing. Totally forgot that we have a backup generator. So anyway, so our engineer had forgotten his keys at home by accident. So he gave me a call, and he's like, hey, can you let me in? So I was like, yeah. So I come up to the back door, and I hear the generator running, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. We have a generator. So anyway, but yeah, that was fun. All the engineers running around like, why aren't we on the air? And why is this not working? And what's the password for this computer? So anyway, yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
Sounds like a very hectic time.
Yes. Okay. So the second quick story, and it ties into what we're going to talk about. So it's actually relevant. So you know me, Zach.
Yes.
I have Apple products. MacBook Pro, iPhone, Apple Watch, right?
Yes.
You're going to be proud of me. I made a switch this weekend. Or this week.
What?
Earlier this week. On Tuesday. I made a switch.
What did you switch from and to?
Okay, probably the least significant out of that list, but the watch.
Oh, really?
I love how you got...
That's kind of the one that I least expected, because you talked about how you like how the watch, you know, works with your iPhone.
Okay, and I really do. I really do.
That's fine, but I was kind of surprised because, well, if you get something that's not an Apple Watch, it's not going to work well with your iPhone anymore, is it?
Yes and no. The continuity between like some of the apps is not there anymore. Not
so
that I
what
used
did
a
you
ton
get?
of them. So anyway, so me and Joe you're gonna be upset with Joe.
Oh.
So me and Joe were talking, right? And he has an old iPad. And I was like, well, you could probably trade that in for a new iPad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a possibility.
Anyway, so I was like, hey, you know what? Let's go to Best Buy. Let's go look at them. You know, the new models and see what they have on stock and everything. We're not going to buy anything today, but we're just going to go look, right? So anyway, so we're there. And I'm like, hey, I want to check out the Apple Watches. Because I've been planning on upgrading for a while. Ever since I got the truck paid off, I was like, I got a couple, you know, I've got some more money. I want to, I'm still saving away for the computer, obviously, but I wanted to put some money away, or not put some money away. I wanted to upgrade the watch. I don't do a ton of swimming, but I wanted something that I could swim with. And during the summer, every now and then, I will do some sailing, and I enjoy being out on the water. So I wanted something that could be submersible, basically. And so I was planning on buying the Apple Watch 2. Well, this is an interesting marketing decision that Apple made. So get this, Zach. You can either decide to buy an Apple Watch Series 1, like the OG Apple Watch, or you can buy an Apple Watch Series 3. But the Apple Watch...
Say that again?
Okay, so you can buy the Apple Watch Series 1, the very first one, right?
Right.
Or you can decide to buy the Apple Watch Series 3, the newest one.
Okay.
Now, they also have an Apple Watch Series 2, which they have now discontinued.
So you can only get one or three?
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Yes. That seems
That's
like a...
weird.
Yeah, that seems like a poor marketing decision. I bet you... I have an idea of what happened, though. I bet you that Apple still has a bunch of overstock of the Apple Watch Series 1s that they want to get rid of.
That sounds probably more like what's going on. Either that, or perhaps for some reason they think that maybe they will get people who were only planning to upgrade to the Series 2 to spend a little extra and buy a Series 3 because they can't find a Series 2.
Yeah,
that
so they have actually been discontinued. I was... that's what the guy said, and he's like, I can't even order them. So I'm like, oh, okay. So anyway, so long story short, what I ended up doing then was I was like, for whatever reason, I was like, let's go look at the Fitbits and stuff like that, or whatever. Or actually, no.
Oh, not those things.
It was, let's go look at the
I
other
think those
smartwatches.
things are dumb.
Well, okay. So that's what I have. I have a Fitbit Ionic. It's like the newest Fitbit, but it's like a smartwatch with all the fitness tracking in it, and I actually really like it. And if I get around
I
to it,
find
hopefully,
the fitness tracking thing fad to be ridiculous.
well, okay. But anyway, so hopefully, if I get my thoughts together, we will actually put a review together of it. And I would also like to do a comparison of like the Fitbit versus the Apple Watch. There are things I like about the Fitbit. There are things I don't like about the Fitbit. So there are some features that are missing. But overall, I've challenged myself to use it for an entire week. So next Tuesday will be 1 week. And so far, I actually really like it. So it's not bad. But anyway, so that ties into this story right here. And that is your next activity tracker could actually be a pair of, glasses.
Okay, well, I still think activity trackers are silly, but at least it's not a watch this time.
At least it's not a watch this time. Okay. All right.
Like, seriously, those things just like seem like gimmicks to me. Like, do people really use them for fitness tracking? Like, really? Is that actually a desirable feature?
Fitness tracking? Yes, a lot of people use it quite heavily.
Ugh. Well, all right. I mean, I guess if people, if you want to do that, then fine, whatever. I still
Okay,
think
so here's my thought. On my wrist, okay. In my glasses, I don't quite get it. But yeah, so if wearing a Fitbit on your wrist is going to be too difficult
unfortunate
for
for people who have to wear glasses normally.
Okay, continue.
What?
What did you say? Unfortunate for people who have to wear glasses already, or fortunate for people?
Yeah, because how are they? What are they going to do? Wear 2 pairs of glasses?
Well, okay, hang on. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so if wearing a Fitbit on your wrist is like not an option for you, you could possibly consider it in your glasses. Which, okay, I guess the cool thing about it is you wear your glasses every day, so you'd always have your fitness tracker as long as you remember to charge it. But eye insurance provider VSP Global is launching a pair of smart glasses called Level that keep track of a wearer's movements. So they pair over Bluetooth to a companion iOS or Android app, and frames are going to cost $270. Oh, and that doesn't even include the lenses. So that's going to be an extra cost.
Oh, so this isn't just okay. So these glasses have like real lenses that can probably act as the kind of lenses that fix your vision.
Yes. So the idea is that, like, you know, somebody like me who wears glasses, prescription glasses, you know, you get a prescription lens in them, and it's also a fitness tracker for you. So the inside of the glasses is relatively simple and what you'd expect. There's an accelerometer, gyroscope, and magnetometer. I don't know what that actually is. But they work together to track your steps, distance, calories burned, and total activity time. Interesting. Okay, so here's my question. Like, how does it count, like, calories burned? Because I understand, like, the Fitbit and, like, the Apple Watch, right? It's monitoring, like, your heart rate and things like that. So I'm sure some algorithm can kind of figure out based on, you know, how long.
That still seems to me like
rate.
I think there's too many variables involved in that, isn't there?
Yeah, there is that question of how,
like, you know, it also depends on the person, doesn't it?
Probably. But yeah, there is that question of how accurate are these devices. I think, I don't know, I haven't really checked into it, but I would tend to believe.
And they're probably close.
They're probably close, but I would tend to believe that Fitbit is probably more on it, because what Fitbit makes is activity trackers. Like, that's what
maybe
do.
they have. Maybe this has another method of.
Yeah, I'm not quite exactly sure how this would work that way. But it charges over a magnetic connector and should last about 5 days on a single charge. Which, okay.
Probably doesn't take long to charge either.
Probably doesn't take long to charge, and I would imagine it doesn't take long to diminish either, because there's not a ton of stuff going on. It's not like it's got a screen that it has to power or anything like that. All the data is being processed on your phone, you know, or viewed on your phone, I should say. Not processed on your phone. it's being viewed on your phone. So it's not like an Apple Watch where you're gonna have somebody constantly looking at it and things like that. That's one thing I also like about the Fitbit right now. I'm on day 4 without having to charge it. I can't do that with my Apple Watch. So, anyway, oh, they're also doing this cool thing, where like if you reach so many step goals or whatever like that, you can gain points, and then what you can do with those points is you can use them to like actually help somebody else who doesn't can't afford glasses, like get glasses. So it's like kind of a cool idea. It's like the motivation. It's like a motivator basically kind of thing is what the company's thinking. There is some criticism against it though, because they're like, you should just give glasses to anybody, versus how they're doing it where you can actually select like a group, like maybe kids or the homeless or things like that.
Okay, that's kind of dumb. People are really complaining about who they're giving, about which group of needy people they're giving glasses to. Seriously?
See,
Okay.
the idea. See, this is how the company.
I mean, I get what they're saying. But
I get what they're saying too.
You know,
here's what the company is saying.
Just take
though.
what you can get. You know, come on.
Here's
they're trying to do something.
Yeah, and here's what this company is saying is that, like, and it kind of makes sense to me, is that by allowing the person who is using the tracker to pick which group of people to gain, which group of people that they want to have this company give glasses to, right? It kind of gives them like a cause basically, and therefore it's probably like, more motivation for them to get their step count and be more active and things like that. And I can see that in a way.
I mean, I guess.
So, I don't know about. Okay, we know where you sit on fitness trackers. My opinion, fitness trackers. I think they were a fad. Now I think they're actually being used. Not so much as a fad anymore, but like the people who are using it as a fad have like weeded themselves out, and now people who are actually serious about it are actually using them, and I think it's a great idea.
Okay, I guess I never really thought about that. That actually does kind of make sense. The people who are just there for the fad quit using it.
Yeah, exactly. When I bought the Apple Watch wasn't so much bought for the idea that I wanted a fitness tracker. I was like, okay, it's a cool feature, but the Apple Watch is a smart watch with a fitness tracker built in. The Fitbit is a
that's
fitness
more
tracker
what
with
I
a
would
watch
use
built in.
one.
As what? As an actual smartwatch?
Yeah, although I still don't think if I had a smartwatch, I would use it very much at all.
And see, that's what I learned too.
And that's why I don't have one.
Yeah,
because it'd be a waste of money for me.
When I bought the Apple Watch, I was like, oh, this thing's gonna be awesome, text and yada 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 on it and things like that. And then I never really used those features that much. And that's why I think I've been so easy. Like, it's been so easy to adapt to the Fitbit. Is that I really don't use a lot of the features of the watch. Some things I'm going to miss, like on my wrist navigation. That was a really nice feature, where if I was driving somewhere, just put it in the phone and then I could look at my watch to see how far I had until my next turn. And then the cool thing was it would even like start to vibrate as I would get closer to where the turn was. It's like hey, heads up, here's your turn. So that'll be something that I'll miss. I also miss the ability to be able to control like what's playing on my phone, even Spotify, just on my wrist as well. That's kind of something I'm gonna miss. But anyway, yeah, I think, like I said, the whole fad of having a fitness tracker thing has kind of been like weeded out, or like the people that were there just for the fad are weeded out now, and now people who are serious are there now. So fitness tracker on my wrist, I think is a cool thing still. And I think it's something that's going to still be viable. But this whole idea of putting it on your, like, built into your glasses, I don't see this taking off. Maybe it will, but I don't see it taking off.
I mean, I guess, I don't know, like, wearables is just not something that I ever really was too interested in, so I suppose I'd have to agree with you. I don't think that this is that cool of a product besides just the novelty factor. Like, oh hey, it's in your glasses now. That's
Yeah,
but
like
other than that,
the
I mean, I
convenience
don't
is
know.
there, but
But bias warning. I don't really find the concept of wearables to be that appealing.
yeah. And so final thoughts on this real quick, and that is that like even if you forget to charge them or whatever, it's not like okay, you have to make a choice. Is like, do I go without my glasses? But like, at least the lenses don't have to be charged. So
See, I won't buy wearables until they have built-in hologram projectors. Then I'll buy one.
that'd
Then
be
it'll be
cool.
awesome.
That'll be cool. All right. Let's talk about. Oh, shoot. You know what? Here we go. Hang on. Almost forgot to put that in there. Let's talk about Microsoft real quick here. So Microsoft, well, they've been having some security flaws lately. Google disclosed a new flaw in Microsoft Edge earlier this week. I didn't read really into that, but after Microsoft failed to patch that bug in time, or Microsoft failed to patch that bug in time, so Google gives like companies like 90 days, I think it is, to patch the things.
What is this?
Before they make it public?
No, Microsoft, what have you done?
So
no, seriously, 90 days and they can't fix it? Come
yeah.
on.
But now Google's Project Zero team of security researchers are disclosing yet another Windows 10 security flaw that Microsoft has again failed to patch before Google's imposed 90-day period. So it's not just one, it's two of them.
Why, Microsoft? Why do you do this? Google is trying to help you out, trying to help out us, the user.
Yeah.
What? In 90 days, we're going to disclose this. 90 days later, they haven't done anything? Seriously?
Right.
That's so ridiculous.
So the latest unpatch issue is an elevation of privileges, which allows a normal user to gain administrative privileges on a system. Didn't like Apple have this
Does it
problem?
really take 90 days for them to fix this stuff? Like,
No,
Google
it should
is just telling them exactly what the problem is. Like, this is the problem. We figured it out. It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll get to that. And,
but
more than 90 days, I guess.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so Apple had the same problem too, if you remember, where like the administrative functions were like accessible to like.
Well, yeah. I mean, I realize that. I'm just saying, like, Google warned them. They said, we're going to release it in 90 days, and they didn't do anything.
I'm just bringing that up, but like the thing is, it's a security issue, especially like, here's a great example. This is like giving somebody, now not in all cases, but okay, I have a web server, right? So it's like having a web server and giving somebody the root password for that. Like, here, have the root password, do whatever you want on this. Like, no, that's not how that works.
I think that people should be upset with Microsoft for not fixing this.
If you're not upset already, which I know you are, right? Okay, so Microsoft has rated the flaws as important, but not critical. And here's why.
Okay, I do understand the reasoning, though.
As it cannot be exploited remotely.
Like, I sort of understand that, but also, I mean, well...
I sort of get it, and I kind of sort of don't get it, too.
Someone who used a different vulnerability, for example, to obtain remote access could now do this remotely.
Yes.
So,
but I think even more local.
That's also bad.
I think just the concept, even locally, which, yeah, okay, you have to be local on the device, but still, the idea is that the administrative, lockdown portion of Windows is supposed to be there for security. Think about it in a business setting. Well, actually, no, I take that back because most businesses are still running Windows 7. But anyway.
Well, Windows 7 does have the same... it does also attempt to protect itself in a similar fashion.
I just thought of something, though. Well, it's probably been patched now, but can you imagine if all of us, like, IT students, like, knew about this bug and, like, started exploiting it?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Good job, Microsoft.
What do you
You knew about this
what
3 months ago,
what do
and
you
didn't
think
pass.
our network administrator, our for our
Oh, yeah,
what
I think that you can be the ones to try that out, not me.
No, 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 no. I'd rather not find out. I feel like that would not end well for me.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right about that.
I feel like that would not end well for me. Although,
No, it would not.
in my reasoning, I was like, well, hey, it wasn't password protected. Like, if you didn't want me in there, it should have been password protected. Fair or not?
Only sort of.
Yeah, only sort of. Anyway, so it's not clear when Microsoft intends to address the latest security flaws in Windows 10, and the company still needs to solve the Edge vulnerabilities that were disclosed by Google earlier this week. Okay, so it sounds like they haven't fixed these problems yet. What the heck?
Why, Microsoft? Come on, you had one job. You had one job. Fix this.
One job.
Come on.
You know what I've heard though? So CBS
They have
Sunday
a lot
Morning,
more.
they had a segment on Satya Nadella, who is the CEO of Microsoft. Apparently, like profits are like up since he took the company. Apparently, so
Really?
yeah, that's probably because of the
Okay.
other ventures.
Interesting.
They're probably not making money off of like Windows any.
Well, I'm not surprised to hear that they're making money. I just think that, this kind of stuff.
Like what I
this
heard in
should
it was a
happen.
little surprising. It was just like, really, with all the stuff that's going on and like, with Windows 10, like the security issues and
See, perhaps that's
privacy
why they
issues.
don't really care about all of users' complaints with Windows 10, because they are making money hand over fist,
Yeah, that could be.
regardless of what people say.
But yeah, so Google's policy is to disclose after 90 days without a patch. So they basically give them 90 days to fix the problem, which they haven't yet. Now,
Unfortunately.
Google and Microsoft have a history of disagreements over Google's approach to vulnerability disclosure. So Microsoft actually
I
hit
wonder why.
back at Google's approach to security patches last year after discovering a Chrome flaw and quote unquote responsibly disclosing it to Google so that the company had enough time to patch. I think 90 days is enough time to patch.
I think 90 days is more than enough time.
Yeah.
I'm not a software developer.
I'm not a software developer either, but I would imagine.
I'm sure that, if that's not enough time, then they need to make it be enough time, because, 90 days of this bug just existing, and people can exploit it and do whatever they want. That's not good. They need to figure that out. They have lots of money. They can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to hire more people for it. Well, then you better hire more people, I guess.
So, yeah, a little appalling.
But,
I'm
I
disappointed in
don't
you,
know.
Microsoft.
Did Google fix the bug that Microsoft refers to? They
I don't know.
responsibly.
I didn't read into that. I would imagine that they probably did.
Well, I hope they did.
Yeah.
I guess we'll assume that
I guess
they
I
did
don't know
for
that
now.
much on it. I should have done some more research, but I was stretched for time this week. So I was working a insane amount of hours this week. I did two 12-hour shifts within the span of 2 days.
Oh no! What? That's crazy.
One of our operators lives a decent amount of like the way out of town, and the road that he normally would take is not the greatest during the winter. So I understand. So I did a 12-hour shift on Thursday, 12-hour shift on Friday, and then I had an 8-hour turnaround. Actually, I had 2 8-hour turnarounds. So so I haven't had much time to actually like really think and put the show together. So it's amazing that we even have a show this week. Anyways, I was gonna almost be like, yeah, let's just put the show off this week, but yeah. Anyway,
Here we are.
yeah, here we are. So next week's show should hopefully go a little bit better. Anyway, let's move on to this. So Samsung is unveiling the world's largest SSD. At well, you already know how big it is, don't you?
30
30 terabytes, which
That's a lot of storage.
It is a lot of storage, especially for an SSD. So Samsung has unveiled the world's largest solid-state drive, and
Well, actually, it would be more impressive if that was a mechanical drive. Because think about it, with a SSD, you can just keep adding more flash cells. But with a spinning drive, there's only so much room to put platters.
that is true. But I thought they already made insanely large, like spinning.
Yeah, like 10
hard drives.
terabytes, I think is
Oh, is that it? I
the
thought we had stories about
largest.
them.
10 terabyte around that area is some of the largest ones you can.
I thought we had stories about ones like bigger than that, but I don't remember. Anyway,
I guess I might be wrong. I don't know.
so it's an
Whatever.
amazing looking bit of kit that boasts a whopping 30.72 terabytes of. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say gigabytes? No, I said.
No,
terabytes.
you said terabytes.
That would have been under impressive. 30.72 terabytes of storage. It's the most storage ever crammed into a 2.5 inch form factor.
Okay, now putting it into 2.5 inch, that's more impressive.
Yeah. 2.5. That's the those are the laptop ones, right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
laptop size.
What
So
are the-
in
what are the
theory,
full-
you could throw that in your laptop.
In theory, yes. What are the full height sized ones? Those are what?
3.5.
3.5. Okay, that's what they are. Okay, I
Yep,
just always
3.5
refer to them
inch.
as full height ones. But anyway, so it's designed for enterprise customers looking to move away from the mechanical parts of your standard disk-based hard drive.
That makes sense because, big data centers will pay big money for storage solutions because, well, think about it. Hard drives take up space, and the more dense the storage they can buy, the more hard drives they can put in one machine,
Yeah, exactly.
or rather, the more gigabytes they can put in one machine, or maybe we should say terabytes.
Yeah, terabytes. The PM1643 is built from 32 sticks of 1 terabyte NAND flash packages, each of which contains 16 layers of 512 gigabyte VNAND chips. So that's enough space to hold 5,700 HD movies, or roughly 500 days of nonstop video. That is a lot of storage.
Yep. And it's probably only going to be purchased by insane data hoarders or businesses.
It offers twice the capacity of the former largest SSD, a 16 terabyte drive, also released by Samsung back in March of 2016. Seagate has made a bigger 60 terabyte SSD, but that was in the more spacious 3.5 inch form factor, and it actually doesn't seem to have been actually put on sale yet. So, yeah.
I'm sure it will eventually.
So these are SAS drives, by the way. They are not.
Oh, so no,
SATA.
in fact, you're not going to be putting that in your laptop.
No, they are SAS drives. Unless you can find or build.
Actually, I bet there's an
some-
adapter somewhere.
Yeah,
you can
unless
buy.
you can find like some adapter, like you have to.
One of those CD drive bay ones, where you put your SSD in this little
Yeah. Wait, hang on,
like,
Zach.
this little cell, I guess, and then
Hey, Zach, I've got a question for you.
really,
What's a CD drive?
what do you got?
What's a CD?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's a
I've
CD
forgotten
drive?
years ago.
Do you remember
Yeah.
I remember ish the fad. I was pretty young.
Well, here I will say there is something to be said for having a CD drive in a laptop. You know what that's?
Okay.
It's so you can take it out and put it in another hard drive.
Okay, but if it doesn't exist in the first place, then theoretically you have more space for that, or maybe a bigger
Yeah,
battery.
but when do manufacturers ever use that space to accommodate another hard drive bay? Now,
Yeah, usually never. Usually, isn't it like cramming more?
there
like, battery into it?
are some laptops I've seen do actually have another 2.5-inch bay that's just, and that is awesome.
You
That
know,
needs to be more common.
It's funny because that actually used
That
to
would be cool.
That actually used to be a feature that was built into like the old IBMs, where like you could like pop out. Like they were modular. You could like take out your floppy
so
drive
you
and
could-
like
Oh,
put
so
in
they
another
made it
drive or
easy
another
to
battery.
upgrade, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. See,
So like
one way that old technology somehow manages to be better than new technology.
Like, okay, old technology was awesome. It was just very much like, swap stuff out very easily, upgrade whenever kind of thing. Now we've gotten to this whole point where it's,
Where they expect you to never open it up, and when you're not satisfied with it anymore, you just buy a new one instead of making yours.
Yeah, we live in a disposable, world now,
And that is stupid. That is stupid.
Anyway, okay. Back to this real quick here. So
Would be awesome to have that in a laptop, though.
Yeah. Exactly when this drive is going to be going on sale, that's not known yet. But Samsung now says now it's got this form factor settled. Now that it's got this form factor settled, it'll expand its range of SAS SSDs later this year with 16.32 terabytes, 7.68 terabytes, 3.84 terabytes, 1.92 terabytes, and 960 gigabytes. Oh, and
well, I'm sure it will cost about as much as a car, but sure.
So, oh, here's what I was looking for. So yeah, their SAS drives offer impressive sequential read and write speeds up to 2,100 megabits per second. Not megabytes, not megabits.
Megabytes, I would hope.
Yeah, megabytes per second, and 17,000 megabytes per second. So
not bad.
The read is a little bit slower than the write, but that's to be expected. But yeah, definitely better than what you're going to get on a mechanical drive. So,
yes.
That's about 3 times as fast as the average SATA SSD that you find in your average consumer, laptop or desktop or anything like that. So, yeah. Don't expect for these to be ending up in laptops anytime soon, though.
Oh, I'm sure they won't.
Especially when you consider that awesome, they're going to cost, the cost of a small car. But yeah.
I mean, maybe if you really like your laptop, then yeah, I'm sure there's a way to make it work. But hope you're ready to spend as much as a car on this drive, because it probably will cost that, maybe even tens of thousands. Who knows? I'm not very well versed on how much.
No, I am not either. Okay, moving on. This is kind of a cool thing that's going on, and I'm hopeful about this. But SpaceX founder Elon Musk tweeted the other day an 8-second video of the company's first broadband satellites, saying that they are now deployed and communicating to Earth stations.
Awesome.
This is going to revolutionize the way that people receive satellite internet. Maggie is... I have no idea what she's doing back there. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, Maggie is my dog. But yeah, this is going to revolutionize the way that people that receive satellite, internet, receive satellite internet. What did I see in here? Because it was, they're planning, what is it? The speeds are for gigabit, right?
Gigabits, man, crazy.
Did I
now
say 10,
I'm tempted to ask what's the
gigabits?
catch, because he also says that he just wants to give everybody free internet, pretty much. I mean, what's the catch?
Okay, but Elon Musk
maybe
seems
there
like
is
a
no
sweet
catch.
dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. That's just what happens when a cool guy somehow becomes a billionaire and decides he wants to go to space and put internet satellites in orbit and whatever else he likes to.
The ultimate goal is to provide gigabit broadband worldwide.
Okay, actually, I bet the perhaps what's going to happen is you can connect to these satellites for free, but you can also subscribe to a service to get really fast internet.
Oh, I could see that happening.
Maybe you get basic speeds for free if you can't afford it, or you just need it for a moment or whatever.
I could see that happening.
But if you'd like, maybe they can provide your main internet connection for a monthly. Now, take that, Comcast.
And you know what? I wonder. That's what I was thinking.
I cannot wait to see how the big ISPs react if this actually becomes.
Exactly.
I'm sure they will be extra mad about it.
And that's one thing that I was thinking as
And
I was
I will
reading through
be
this.
enjoying my popcorn while I watch.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I was...
Anything that makes Comcast upset is good in my book.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. So that's one thing that I was thinking when I was reading through this. I was like, is this Elon Musk like competing against big ISP corporations? Which
I'm sure he is.
like hooray for the little guy, basically. And that's one of the things that I really like about Elon Musk is that like he seems to be kind of like, hey,
He's not afraid to challenge a big company.
He's not afraid to challenge a big company, and it also seems like he's out there if like he's kind of like Google in a way where they're like, the consumer is, important kind of thing.
Not the thing we're talking about.
Well, okay. Like,
well, I guess he kind of does.
He's kind of for the little guy, I feel.
Sometimes.
Like in a way.
Not always. Google isn't always for the little guy.
Not always,
obviously.
but like
sometimes Google does things that make you feel.
That's true. But like Elon Musk seems like he's more motivated towards the little guy instead of, the big guys, things like that. Which
I think he just likes to do cool stuff.
That too.
Like go to Mars with his Tesla.
He is insane. Like the things that he like. Did you see he like released like a flamethrower?
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny.
I would love to spend some time with Elon Musk. Like that would be totally awesome. Just pick his brain. Like it's one of those things where it's like there can't possibly be anything more insane than this, and then he like finds something more insane to like release or do or something.
Buy a flamethrower? Of course you do.
So anyway, the demonstration satellites named Titan A and Titan B are being used to test SpaceX's future Starlink broadband service. Once all the necessary testing has been completed, the launch of the operational satellites could begin sometime in 2019, which would be pretty cool.
I can't wait for SpaceX to be my ISP.
SpaceX's ultimate goal is to provide, like we said, gigabit broadband worldwide. But the first task for these demo satellites are a bit simpler. Basically, they're going to attempt to beam Hello World when they pass near LA.
Here's one thing, though, that does kind of concern me is what about the latency? I highly doubt the latency is very good. That may prove to be problematic. I don't know if they have a solution for it. Perhaps they do. I would hope they do.
I thought I read something in this article
about that.
Yeah.
If they have solved the problem, I'd be interested to see how, because I wouldn't put it past them.
According to the plan, SpaceX satellites will have low Earth orbits, allowing them to provide internet services with latency similar to cable and fiber services.
Fantastic. Oh, yes. I love that.
Yep, that should make SpaceX's broadband a lot more pleasant to use than existing satellite services.
Well, here, and imagine this, right? Imagine this. You live in a city that's dominated by Comcast. Nobody else is allowed to sell internet service in that city because Comcast just said so. And then SpaceX rolls into town. They've got their new satellite internet, and they don't care what Comcast has to say because they use satellites, not wireless. And now you can buy cheap gigabit. Comcast probably wouldn't be too happy about that, would they?
No.
But I would. I like it.
Did you accidentally delete one of the story links by accident?
Oh, I don't know. That might have been my push-to-talk key just doing it.
I think you did by accident.
I tried to click undo, okay? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't me.
It's a story that we've already passed, so it doesn't, like... Yeah, it's not relevant anymore. Okay, you know what? Let's do this real quick. Final thoughts on this whole thing is that this is a cool thing, and I'm excited to see it when it finally goes, full. So, anyway, let's cover this one real quick here. I'm on B2, so... Anyway, so do you guys remember the company Nokia?
Of course I do. The one that makes indestructible phones? At least they say they're indestructible.
Dude, they're like bricks, so yeah, they're
Well,
indestructible.
they are basically brick. It's basically like the ThinkPad of phones. ThinkPad, oh, you just drop it. Oh, no big deal. It's a ThinkPad. It can survive the apocalypse, I'm sure.
So, Nokia has just released a new phone. They're calling it like the banana phone. It kind of looks like a banana.
Well, maybe that's why they're calling it a banana phone then. Huh. Crazy, isn't it?
It is kind of crazy. Let me find the correct keys to hit here. What the heck? Oh, there we go. I was like, I've got like 3 scenes in OBS that are exactly the same. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I can't find the one I'm looking for. So here we go. Okay, so this is from Ars Technica. Nokia's latest nostalgia bait feature phone is the 8110 banana phone. It looks legit like a banana, and that, like, not helping its cause. I don't know if like Nokia actually meant to do this or not, but not helping the cause is this brightly yellowed banana like color that comes with it as an option. So you can get it in this color.
Well, maybe that's why they call it a banana phone.
So, and it's kind of shaped like a banana too. It's like, it's curved. So anyway, but, so it's not running Android or anything like that. So the spec sheet here, we're looking at some very modest features.
It's basic, yes.
Yeah, so you're going to get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 205 SoC, which is a chip so slow that it's not even used in smartwatches.
Oh, what the heck?
I don't know anything about the Qualcomm Snapdragon like processor lineup. You should do some research on that and like get back to me.
Maybe, but it's been a while for me as well.
Let's see. So there's two 1.1 gigahertz Cortex A53 CPU cores. So not a lot of processing power. 512 megabytes of RAM. And 4 gigabytes of storage.
Yep, definitely modest.
A 2 megapixel rear camera. Okay, that's complete trash. And a 2.4 inch QVGA 320 by 240 display. There is LTE 802.11 BG and N, Bluetooth 4.1, GPS, micro USB 2.0. Really? Micro USB? Wow. What? I guess if they really wanted to be nostalgic, they would have gone with mini USB.
Actually, you've got them wrong. It's that's actually correct, I should say.
What?
The mini USB is the older big.
Yeah.
And the micro USB is the more modern one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they wanted to be nostalgic, they would have gone with the mini USB.
Oh. Okay, well, ignore that then. Ignore me.
Oh, here's something that companies don't believe in anymore. A freaking headphone jack!
Oh, what a world we live in when
Not that you're going to be putting that much music.
Feature.
Not that you're going to be putting that much music on it anyways, but...
Well, you could.
With 4 gigabytes of RAM, or 4 gigabytes of storage?
It depends. I guess depends if you're one of those people that actually have like.
Well, okay, it comes with an FM radio built in. It comes with an FM radio built in, so there is that.
That's a little odd, but all right.
No, you know what? A lot of Android phones have like an FM radio chip built into them, which actually isn't a bad thing.
That's weird.
Well, okay, think about it this way though. Power goes out, right? You know, usually your only source of, because if you don't have internet, if you need to know what's going on, usually radio stations have backup generators.
Well, normally your cell service will still work. in that case. So
normally yes, but anyway. But if you don't want to, like, I don't know. Anyway, it's built into a lot of like Android phones though. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the banana phone. So
banana phone.
anyway,
I love it.
So in keeping this to about an hour, so we're gonna wrap things up this week. You know what? Okay, I have to say, doing an hour-long show, it goes by really quick. But I just feel there's so much more energy that I have now. Instead of like getting burnt out by the time we get to like the last story. So,
Fair enough.
So we're gonna try to keep our shows to about an hour now or so, instead of an hour and a half. So with that being said, let me a few final thoughts here. First off, we publish the episodes of the Ram Show up on iTunes, so you can listen back to them as a podcast. So if you want to do that, go check that out on the iTunes podcast app thing, or podcast app on your iPhones, or in iTunes under podcast, just search for TechBeam. Or actually, no. Well, actually, you probably could search for TechBeam, but the Ram Show will work. So yeah. I need to be better about trying to like put stuff up on our little forum that like nobody really uses, but if you are interested, go check that out. Maybe poke around and like share a couple things or whatever. Leave comments below as well, because we really enjoy that. Like if you liked the video, dislike if you didn't like the video. Yeah, what else do I have? I really don't have anything else for this week. So
I am good.
Yeah. Let me find this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I needed my end slate card thing. Cause then I can like what is it? This side will be subscribe. This side will be to watch the last episode of the Ram Show. So go do that. Yeah. Comment down below if you want to, like, dislike, all that fun stuff. Hopefully we'll actually be making some main content on this channel soonish. And yeah, so we'll see everyone next week. Bye!